A massive championship match was confirmed for SummerSlam on last night's SmackDown. A hot AEW act has set a new record for 2023, and there were some changes made to last night's SmackDown. Stay tuned for the news. I think this might be one of the best years for WWE pay-per-views. I think or premium live events.
Yeah,
right?
You got to use the proper terminology,
use the
Fraser.
proper terms. But this year they've sort of kind of knocked it out the park with every single one of them, and it's a surprise. We're not used to this type of consistency, but the big thing that they've kind of been doing is making each pay-per-view or premium live event seem like an actual attraction. I think SummerSlam is no different to this one. We've obviously seen the story of the bloodline sort of crumble, and we're sort of getting some storyline tension with Jey Uso, and it looks like he's getting his match.
Every time it feels like it's maybe going to start running out of steam. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, it's run out of steam already. But every time it feels like, to me anyway, it's about to run out of steam, it just seems to move on to another whole thing.
When you think you're out, they pull you back in, and last night was no different. We had the head-to-head between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. They were setting the rules of engagement, was what it was advertised as. They came face-to-face to sign the contract for their match. It was agreed to be a tribal combat rules match.
Yeah, we had a sort of Jey and Roman sitting around the table, the usual kind of setup, and Roman signs the contract. Jey rips it up, and he's like, why do we need a contract? The contract's in the blood. And then it kind of just goes a bit back and forth. Oh, I've got a thread. It goes a bit back and forth with them before eventually Roman realizes what Jey means when Jey says, it's tribal combat now.
Yeah.
And so Roman very slowly he's looking at his title on the table. He takes off, I can't remember what the name is. The lathe. He takes it off. He puts it over the title, and he stands up, and then they meet eye to eye. They put their heads together, they kind of embrace, and then they both step back and look each other up and down. Solo Sikoa then tries to jump Jey and gets super kicked for his trouble. It's kind of man against man, a matter of honor now.
And that's the only thing. The title's not the only thing on the line, as we said. They sort of alluded to in it with putting the lay on the title belt. It is also for the title of Tribal Chief. It was very interesting to see Roman sort of not get involved when Solo got attacked. Yeah. I think that's going to then plant the seed for Solo being like, whoa. I've put a lot of my faith in you. Yeah. You've got to put your faith in me. For me, it felt more like kind of Roman was shocked by Solo, obviously, because he kind of grabs him after he goes for it. And then that's when Jey lays him out. He kind of looks at Jey like, oh man, did you have to? But it felt like that was more of a Roman's going to choose Solo out for that. So I think that is going to maybe be the start of a little bit of division. Plus, we don't know if Solo's going to potentially get involved in some way and try and take it for himself. I kind of hope that it is now leading to, I know a lot of people have been going back and forth on who should take the title from Roman Reigns, but right now the whole storyline does feel like it's pointing now towards Solo. It's finally got round to that point where
Solo's just waiting in the wings, isn't he?
He's standing right there, and he's the guy to take that Tribal Chief title, and I imagine that's where we'll end up. But SummerSlam, there was a lot actually sort of set for SummerSlam last night. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty good show, and it was announced prior to last night's SmackDown that Asuka will defend her women's championship at SummerSlam against both Bianca and Charlotte Flair. Bianca and Charlotte have sort of both challenged for the belt in recent weeks. We saw it's been sort of bubbling toward this, hasn't it, for a little while. We saw it the night before Money in the Bank. Bianca got involved in Charlotte's title match. Yeah. Last week, Charlotte got involved in Bianca's title match, and they also agreed at the start of last week that if Bianca won the belt, they would go off and face each other at SummerSlam for the title. Now the danger is here as well that Charlotte Flair has Scott Steiner odds in nearly any title match. Yep. So it's kind of like it may as well be a four-way, but there's two Charlottes. I think we should add Scott Steiner to the mix here, though. just as commentary, just doing the rundown of statistics. Their chances, over to you, Scott, and he's just like going on about we need him on the statistics for it. But SummerSlam's looking like a good show. We'll run down the matches just now. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, of course, confirmed tribal combat for the undisputed Universal Championship. What else on the show, though? We've obviously, as we've just said, Asuka, Charlotte, and Asuka for the WWE Women's Championship. But also, this is one that I'm very tentatively looking forward to. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
It's for the longest time it's been like, okay, we're going to get the Cody Brock program.
Yeah.
I want to see this just go as far as it possibly can. Get it to as many weird places as you can. Send it just get some memorable moments. Right?
What do you think the stipulation is going to be? Because we have a feeling and an inclination that it's going to have a stipulation, and a lot of people have. I know Ross was saying get them on the back of a truck and get them going down with the barrels.
You could do. Was it like the Road Rules match or whatever it was?
Yeah.
There's that. I mean, it will be in Brock's favor if it was like you have to cleave a cow in half. But it could be in Cody's favor if it's like plumbing, because he's the grandson of a plumber. Yeah. So I miss the days of once again Scott Steiner, Triple H doing weightlifting contests. What happened to that?
Yeah, Great Khali, Triple H arm wrestling contest.
Yeah,
that's what we want for Cody Brock. But I think it's going to be a dog collar or a Texas bull rope.
Yeah,
something
I mean
it's a Detroit muscle match.
Do you really want Brock on the end of a dog collar? No, he's going to absolutely yeet you. It would turn you into a lasso.
He would. But also on SummerSlam, we've got Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, which is sure to be a very, very exciting match.
Going to steal the show, this, isn't it?
I think so. It's nice. 7 years in the making?
Dan, just imagine Finn with that belt.
He'll look good with it.
Judgment Day dripping in gold with the case.
I feel like they might do the switch. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below if you think that Seth Rollins is going to lose the title to Finn Balor at SummerSlam. But SummerSlam's looking pretty good. And another thing that's looking pretty good, but in AEW this time, is the tag team of Better Than You, baby. It has genuinely been one of the most fun things about the entire product. But we've got a little update on them because they've broken a record for 2023. What is it, Sam?
So this one comes from the Wrestling Observer, but the new Better Than You Baby t-shirt has sold more than any other AEW shirt for 2023. It's also the second highest grossing shirt for the year, behind an MJF button-down, which was sold at a higher price point. The shirt was only reduced a couple of weeks ago when MJF and Adam Cole were paired together for the Blind Eliminator tournament. And you might be wondering why you're reporting on merch. It's an indicator for where the audience is sitting, and there's been a lot of please don't break this team up. There's been a lot of they're definitely going to break this team up very quickly. We can't ever have nice things. But I think when you're setting records like this, it might be grounds to just push things down the road a little bit. Just really stretch them legs and make as much money as possible while having absolute fun in the process.
We discussed it on the podcast. We that was sort of the big question this week, when who should turn first. And I think I'm of the opinion, which you'll see on the podcast, but I think they should push it back a little bit. You'll have to find out who I think is going to turn by watching the podcast. But it's interesting to see that this t-shirt has got massive amounts of sales in such a short period of time. Either the
especially
merch,
in such a time where people don't really have a lot of money for extra stuff.
It was genuinely just introduced just 3 weeks ago, and this team seems to have got just got everything over. Yeah. They've got a clothesline over. They've got a t-shirt with that's just their catchphrases put together.
And what a theme.
The theme.
What a theme.
It was a perfect moment, and I'm hoping that this news that the t-shirt's selling well, that people are really into the actual product will extend their run. But then finally going back to SmackDown just now, it's another one of these stories. Changes were made to SmackDown.
Not again. Not again.
But not for the reasons that we're used to. It wasn't
no script ripping,
no script rip. Well, the script was ripped, but it wasn't by Vince.
Ooh.
It was by a thing called COVID-19, allegedly, apparently.
That's a throwback.
It is, right? We all thought it was done. It's made its return. PW Insider Elite has reported that changes were made to last night's SmackDown due to COVID-19 cases. They said in the report, the word making round at SmackDown is that the reason were some changes to the scheduled plans tonight is that there were talents pulled for medical reasons. One version making the rounds is that there were COVID positives or talents who were at least in direct contact with someone who tested positive. The report didn't say who it was about. They didn't say who tested positive or who's been in contact with anyone, but Charlotte was not scheduled to wrestle last night, and she did end up wrestling. She replaced Zelina Vega in the match, the planned and scheduled match between Vega and Io Sky.
Well, I think that it's a good thing WWE are obviously still testing for this, because while COVID has sort of dwindled and while it has become weaker and weaker as the strains get more and more developed, essentially one person carrying it in, if they just stop testing for it, one person carrying it in could spread it to the entire roster. So
it's
also
still, you know, spread it to the entire arena.
Yeah, and you know, you could basically start a little super spreader event again, but you could take yourself, even if you were to take the fans out of the equation, you possibly taking yourself off TV for 2 weeks if everybody gets it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So it's nice to see them still testing that. It's also, I don't want to say nice to see that's the reason why there were changes to SmackDown, because it's not nice.
It's better than the script being absolutely torn up because I don't like it, pal.
Exactly. So it's a nice little change to that sort of usual change. But that is all we've got for you for video one. We will, of course, be back with you with more news later on today. Go and check out the podcast that went out last night. It's myself covering for Jack on it this week.
Yeah, find out what Fraser thinks about MJF.
Exactly. And let us know if you think Seth's dropping the belt to Finn at SummerSlam. I think it might happen.
I reckon it should.
I think it should. Well, in the meantime, we'll see you later.